I hereby grant you top secret clearance to Project Hail Mary.
What's Project Hail Mary?
The sun is dying. If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct. This mission is what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. I get it now.
Project Hail Mary, only theaters March 20th.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop, or technically our, I guess it's Thursday, our Thursday movie review. We went to go see Project Hail Mary with one of our buddies last night, and because we've heard a lot of good things about it, and not wrong. Like, it was actually we really enjoyed this movie. It's one of the first times you actually left it. One of the first times in a long time we actually left the movie theater and actually feeling good about it. You know, and the ending had a very feel good and hopeful ending. Whereas, you know, like a lot of movies and stuff nowadays are all just about very nihilistic, and you're just like, you know, you just walk out like, oh, it was a movie. You know, you don't leave out feeling. This one made you actually kind of leave and feeling good about yourself at the end of the day. But we're just going to get into it and talk about the good and what the good and bad parts of this movie, because we're going to start doing like a good and bad Twins movie review type thing. So I guess we'll start off with Corey. You can tell us about the good parts of the movie. So go ahead and switch over to you.
Yeah, well, I'll say this: the movie is good. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. You know, it starts off with him basically waking up and having, you know, classic, you know, memory lost. You know, what a wonderful plot device. You know, but of course they go on this journey to go figure out why the sun is dying.
Yes.
So they go to the synopsis is they're going to a place where there's this galaxy where the sun is not being affected by this. Like they've looked at every single star in the galaxy, and all of them are having the same problem. They're all getting dim because of this thing called astrophage. And so they send this team to go to this sun that's not dying. So that's what they do. He wakes up in that, but he has memory loss, so he's just kind of wandering around the ship like, why am I here? How did I get here? Who am I? And then, you know, he's slowly figuring out that the rest of the crew is no longer alive. So that's where this movie starts, and then he's slowly regaining his memory. It's like, again, it's done through flashback. So you'll flashback to him being a school teacher, you know, a disgraced. Technically, he was a scientist, and he was a disgraced scientist for his opinions. So he became a school teacher, and then eventually this incident happens where they find out the sun is dimming, and if in 30 years, basically the population will be decimated because the sun's gonna drop 30 degrees on the Earth.
Yeah, correct.
So anyway, this movie is hysterical. Like, I mean, Ryan Gosling is a heck of a comedic actor. Like, I mean, like this movie is well written, well acted. It's very funny. Like, I mean, it's physical comedy from the beginning. Like, he wakes up and this robot's attempting to dress him and shave him, and he doesn't allow it to happen because he's freaking out so much. It's very entertaining. It's very fun to watch. And then he gets there after he kind of slowly is regaining his memories. You know, he gets there and he gets to the sun that's in that galaxy, and they're like, okay, so, and then when he gets there, he realizes that the ship warns him and goes, there's an object very close to us, you know, so he's like, what? You know, and then he turns out and there's an alien vessel next to his ship, you know, and he's freaking out, like, because he, you know, he's a scientist. He wasn't prepared for alien contact. He was just there to do
his job,
a job, to do a mission, you know, and so this ship basically dwarfs his ship, you know, so he's like, what is happening? So, you know, he tries to fly his ship away from it, and of course it just follows him wherever he goes. And then, you know, he realized that whatever is on the ship, the alien is trying to communicate with him, because he like does a little thing with this. He's flying the ship. He goes 1, 2, 3, gives it like 3 jets, and the alien ship does the exact same thing. So he goes, okay, so they're trying to communicate with me, and then it launches a message like in a bottle to him, basically, and you know, he's sitting there, he's like, oh my gosh, it shot something at me. What if it's a bomb? You know, and it's just, again, hysterical comedy. Doesn't know what to expect. Doesn't know if the aliens are friendly or whatever.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's funny. And then all of a sudden, you know, like this little message hits his ship and it bounces off and just kind of floats away. And then it throws another one at him, but it throws it even slower. And he goes, oh, he thinks I'm dumb. So that's what this movie's about. It's about him, slowly learning to communicate with this alien vessel, and it turns out they're there for the same reason. They're both trying to figure out why this son specifically is not dying. So serendipity ensues.
So basically,
Yeah.
it's a buddy comedy between Ryan Gosling and this alien, and it almost makes me wish, like I said, Hollywood trailers nowadays ruin the surprise and everything.
Yeah.
If they had just played the trailer like how this was right here, without showing the alien, people still would have gone to saw this movie.
Yes.
And then that surprise would have been super epic.
Yeah.
You'd be like, whoa, I didn't expect this to go this way.
I didn't expect this to be like a first contact movie.
Exactly. But all the trailers revealed that there was an alien there all along the meet. So, like, it's not scary anymore. Because, like, imagine if you had gone into this movie blind without knowing that he was going to make contact with an alien. You would have still gone to see a Ryan Gosling tries to save the world, movie.
Yeah, I mean, they could have marketed this as
Switch.
the Martian. They could have marketed this as the Martian, like Matt Damon.
No, exactly.
Movie, yeah.
You're actually absolutely correct. That was going to be the next point that I brought up. Was like, this literally movie gives me the Martian vibes with Matt Damon,
But
except
there's
with
actually
Ryan Gosling.
and there's actually a Martian.
Yeah,
in it,
the difference is there's actually an alien in this one.
Yeah.
So very funny, very funny.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's him attempting to communicate with an alien species, and we're talking totally alien, like alien from anything we've ever seen before. I mean, the way you would describe the alien, it's like he's like a rock crab.
Yeah,
is how I
rock
describe it.
spider,
He's
or
a rock spider,
crab,
or a
yeah.
rock crab, and it's very interesting to see him attempt to communicate with this thing. It's like, it's. I don't know. It's just enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable film, and again, the interactions between him and this little rock. He names it Rocky, and then because it communicates basically through, I guess, a type
Vibration.
of echolocation
Yeah.
and vibration. So he gets to the point where he's able to actually generate. He communicates it with enough where he records enough sounds to where he deciphers and decodes a
Words.
language in words for what certain vibrations mean, and then it gets to the point where the computer his computer will translate. So it's like Siri reading it back to him, basically.
Yes, correct.
Reading back what the alien is saying to him.
Yes.
So that he every time, like, he goes, there's not a word for this. I mean, you need to make up a word for this. It's like going, oh, brave, or something like that. So he'll add words to his vocabulary so they can communicate easier between each other. Which that's where it becomes very entertaining. And then eventually, you learn that this alien had the same thing. Like their mission is actually the way they got there is exactly the same. But
all his crew has also died.
Correct. Yeah, all of his crews also died, and you're like, why did they die? And it turns out that their race doesn't know anything about radiation and radiation poisoning. They know other things, So there's a sharing of knowledge and information between the two of them. It's basically it's a best case scenario for if you bumped into an alien life. It's like, we just give it to again, because at the end of the movie, there's a point where he gives him the laptop with all of humanity's information on. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I'd have given that to the alien.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you're like, that might not be the smartest move, man.
Yeah, exactly. But getting to the bad parts of this, unless there's anything else that you want to talk about.
No, and again, this is not. I guess what I'll say is this is not an action movie. This is actually like a character study.
Yeah, it's a buddy comedy character study film.
Yes,
Yeah.
again, it's all about you learn that again. Ryan Gosling is not a hero. In fact, he's a very reluctant hero, and maybe not even a reluctant hero at that. Like he just has to do it,
Yep.
So, but there is one thing that I'll say: the most unbelievable part in this movie is that Ryan Reynolds is not married.
No, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling's character doesn't have a woman waiting for him at home. Like whenever he's talking to Rock, he's like, "Do you have a mate at home?" And he's like, "I have a mate at home." The Rock is like, "Yes, I can't wait to go home to see my mate." He goes, "Do you have a mate?" And he's like, "No, my wife left me because my head was too high in the clouds." And you're just like, and I just look at my husband. Bullshit. No, like Ryan Gosling could be a woman beater, and there'd still be somebody be like, I'd be with him. I can change him.
I can change him.
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, but yeah, no. Again, entertaining film. It's more of a character study, but that's okay because it works. It works because it's so entertaining. It's fun to see the dynamic between him and The Rock. And The Rock is, I guess their species is very social. So the fact that he's alone, like he is absolutely, like The Rock is more enthusiastic about being that Ryan Gosling's there than Ryan
Ryan
Gosling is
Gosling
about
is.
The Rock, because The Rock really enjoys communication because they're a very social species.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ryan Gosling kind of gets over being around with him for a little while on the ship because, he's like, he wants to get on the ship and hang out with Ryan Gosling 24 hours a day. It's again, very fun dynamic between him and the alien, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a good movie. Now, this is a good movie, but now we're getting to the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the bad parts of this movie. It is way too long. Like, we got to this movie at 6:10, which, of course, all movie theaters have about 20 to 30 minutes worth of trailers. So let's just say, realistically, the movie started at around, 6:30 on the nose. We did not get out of that movie theater till 9, 9:30-ish?
Yeah.
It was ridiculously long.
It was
the same thing, it's like Hollywood has this weird thing. It's like, the movie could have ended 5 times.
Yeah.
We thought the movie was over 5 times in a row, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
We all just kept looking at each other like, this seemed like the spot to end it at. It's like, nope, still going.
Yeah.
Still going. And
Yeah,
we're just like, we're finally at, okay, this is where we're going to end it right now. Nope, going again.
It suffers from Lord of the Rings Return of the King syndrome, where the movie had literally 20 different endings.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Like the Eagles flying and saving Frodo could have been where it ended, but
yep.
they had to do it where everybody met up with each other at the end, and they woke up in bed, and it's like, and then,
They could have ended there.
Then it goes, nope, the hobbits have to be crowned, and the king has to bow before the hobbits. It's like, okay, cool, end it right there.
End it right
It's
there.
like, no, they have to go back to the Shire and live amongst the Shire for a little bit. It's like, nope, can't end it there. It just kept going and going. You're like, all right, when is this thing going to be over? When are we going to have some closure? And
Correct.
Project Hail Mary suffers from the same syndrome. Like,
yes.
Literally, I was like putting my seat, like he's going back. Like, I mean, again, Ryan Gosling tells the Rock at some point, this is a one-way trip for him. They did not intend it on this crew going home.
Back. Yeah, this crew it's a one-way trip.
Yeah,
for this crew.
and Rocky's very upset by this. Like, he is not happy that they would send them there with no return plane. So Rocky is again, that's this big epic moment in the film whenever Rocky goes, I'll help you get back home. You're like, that's awesome. You're just like, I love this little alien character. He's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets to go home, and then all of a sudden it's like, now something happens where Ryan Gosling has to make a decision. Like,
do I help Rocky or do I go home? And you switch, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, do I help Rocky or do I just save myself and go home? And he does. That's where the feel-good moment of this movie comes to. He decides to make the decision to go help his friend, because in the movie, at one point, we won't get into it, but Rocky saves his life, so he feels obligated to go try to save Rocky's life at this point.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. But then the other part of this that's bad is the flashbacks. And the flashbacks, again, is part of the reason why this movie is too long. Yeah. We get that we're diving into how Ryan Gosling got there. That's the whole mystery, is how did Ryan Gosling come to be a member of the crew, as you'll find out. Mm-hmm. That's the big mystery at the end. And, it's so long. It's funny at the beginning of the movie because, there's nothing going on in space. He's literally just being alone by himself, suffering with being alone in space. So the flashbacks at the beginning of the movie are really awesome because you're like, okay, he's a goofy, quirky scientist that, is disgraced. Nobody likes him or does any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So you're like, okay, I get it. So we're seeing all this goofy quirkiness about him. But that would have cut down half the stuff in the movie was all this background stuff that you could have just shown in scenes of him doing his scientific experiment stuff. But no, they have a whole scene where they go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they're buying stuff look, I'm Goofy, me and my security detail guy, we're getting along and having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just like,
we're fun people too.
Mm-hmm. But it was a whole bunch of nothing now because every flashback was damn near at least what would you say, 15 to 20 minutes, it felt like. Each flashback was about 15 to 20 minutes. And that's a lot of time. And they're trying to get us emotionally attached to characters that are already dead, which is there's no payoff to getting attached to a character
they're not
that
dead.
you already know
they're
is
just
dead.
On Earth. They're irrelevant to the narrative.
Well, no, we know that they're dead in the portion of the story that we're in. Switch back to me. We know that they're dead at the start of the story because we actually meet the crew of the ship. We're just you get it because this is the crew of the ship. Oh, they were cool and nice people. Yeah, but they're already dead. So there's no point us we know as the audience, there's no point in us getting emotionally attached to them.
Yeah.
And again, unless of course like we find out that Ryan Gosling was actually like engaged, or it was like, it would have been like a more interesting take, is that lady that he just jettisoned into space was his wife or his girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
That would have been a more meaningful moment if you were to find that out in the back.
Absolutely.
But there wasn't. There was no payoff to knowing who the crew was. But they spent like huge portions of it where he's training the crew and teaching them everything that he knows. And again, it's a huge nonsense payoff thing. And again, also with the lady that you see in the trailer right there that's talking and was wearing the hat and welcomes to Project Hail Mary, they try to make her character like super big, which, there is a big reveal about, what happens, how he becomes a part of the actual space crew with that, why she's kind of a bigger thing. But again, there's a whole scene where she starts singing to try to like relate, just like, you could have cut this whole portion out. All this like getting to know the crew stuff, because at this point in the film, we're getting to know Rocky and him. So like, why would we want to know anything else about these people?
Yeah.
It serves no purpose. Like that was the only thing, is like everything about the people that are still on Earth or the crew portion of the background stuff is irrelevant, because again, the crew's already dead. We know we don't want to get attached to them. And two, there's the only thing that we have about this is like this lady is the one that brought him into Project Hail Mary. That's the only portion of this. And again, it's not relevant to the story that we really care about the entire time, which is Rocky and Ryan Gosling's character, which is his name is Grace in the movie, trying to figure out how to stop the sons from dying.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like the other thing. And the only other gripe that I have with it is the alien himself is a MacGuffin. Because Ryan Gosling is the smart scientist, and then he meets Rocky, who happens to be a mechanic, basically, from their alien world that can literally build anything, like, from nothing. Is the only, like, 2 cents that I'll give. Is like, the character himself is a MacGuffin. Now, you can argue that he's not exactly a MacGuffin because he doesn't know things. Like I said, he's not a scientist. Rocky's not exactly a scientist. And it's clear that Grace knows more about the genophage than Rocky does. Rocky's just there to help build things for the for the scientists in his crew, I guess. But yeah, it's just like they're very dependent. But that's also what makes it good, because they're very dependent on each other. Like, he needs him to build things, and he needs him to figure out how to, figure out why the genophages or whatever the heck it's called, astrophage is, destroying the sun, and it's. That, but again, when you have a character that can literally build you anything, this is Minecraft. Like, I can build anything.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, that's the only real gripes that I have with it. Too long, and again, the too long part literally stems from the whole background portion of this story. If we had just stuck with Rocky and Ryan Gosling the whole time, I think they would have had a better movie. But again, like, they have to have the mystery of how Ryan Gosling became the pilot, which is a huge reveal at the end. It's a very interesting reveal at the very end. But again, could have been way shorter. Everything could have been toned down about all the flashback stuff. Yeah. But again, this is basically Matt Damon's The Martian with Ryan Gosling and an actual alien in it this time. So very good movie. Again, just too long. Way too long. All the things that I said were the only issues and gripes that we had with the movie. Other than that, it was a great, fantastic movie. So, Corey, I'll let you start it off. So, in our rankings of, movie tier, where would you rank this? So, great movie is I would go see this in theaters again. Good movie is I would buy this when it comes out on digital download or DVD or Blu-ray, whatever. Average movie, if it was on TV, I would watch it, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not spending money on it again. And then, of course, bad movie is I was trying not to walk out of the theater.
Yeah, no, I would say somewhere in between. I would say somewhere in between good and average. It's very good. Like, I'll say it's enjoyable. Like, you'll watch it, you'll laugh, you'll smile, you'll be on the edge of your seat at some points. But again, I'd say this is the type of movie that you would probably not buy, but you would watch every time it came on TV. You're like scrolling through channels. Oh, it's on AMC. I would say it's like an AMC classic movie.
Yes.
Like, it's not something that you're going to be like, we have to watch this again and again. No, it's like,
that's a great take. Yeah, that is a great take. I would say the same thing, because it would be, if it wasn't as long as it was, I think it would be a double watch for me in theaters. But I can't justify going to spend literally 2.5 hours to go watch this movie when I've already seen all the things, all the like big reveals about it. It's still a good movie, but again, too long of a feel-good movie to just go back and justify spending 2.5 hours to 3 hours of my day to go see again. If it was shorter, I would definitely say, yeah, I'd probably go back to the theaters for it. But it's too long. It's way too long. But yeah, I'd say you're probably right. Somewhere in between average and good, because I think I might buy this, but again, this is going to be one of those ones that I probably would watch again once, and then it's going to go in the shelf for a very long time because, like, again, 3 hours out of your day is a big commitment.
Yes, well, here's a perfect example.
Switch.
When was the last time you watched Matt Damon's The Martian?
That's a good question.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's literally what this movie is.
Yeah. I think you're right. Like, if I was scrolling on TV and, like, HBO or whatever the movie channels are that were playing it was on, I would watch it. But, again, I would not, pull it out of the shelf and be like, oh, here, I've got 3 hours to kill.
Yeah.
Let me turn this on.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't drag my wife and be like, "You gotta sit down and watch this thing, babe."
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you want to watch it, it's a cute movie. You'll love it. But it's not like something that they're gonna be like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to watch that again." It's
exactly
one of those. But yeah, again, I would say ultimately it's a very enjoyable film.
Yes.
Definitely, if you don't have anything to do this weekend, go sit down and watch it. I'd say definitely check this one out. Your kids will probably want to have them take you to Mario, but I would say you should try to get them to go to this instead, because this is actually a fantastic little film, just a little too long.
Yep. Definitely way too long. But other than that, so it would give it I guess like what, since our ranking system basically has 4 tiers to it, so like 2.5 stars, 2.25 stars.
Yeah.
So like 2.5 stars. We'll say we give this one 2.5 stars out of 4 stars, basically. So it is somewhere in between in between an average and a good movie. Just because, isn't that sad? It's like, just because, for the sole reason that it's too long. It's way too long for what it is. So, but other than that, I think that's pretty much like all we've got today. This was our good and bad movie review. But I hope you guys, Corey, unless there's anything else that you want to mention.
No, that's it. I mean, definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, whether or not it's going to be your cup of tea, that's totally dependent on you. If you're a sci-fi buddy comedy kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely for the ladies. Like, as the ladies, like, oh, I get to watch a movie that's nothing but Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You're ladies, you should love it.
If you want to watch Ryan Gosling be socially awkward and weird in space for like 3 hours of your life, you're gonna love it.
Yep.
Oh my God. But anyway, I think this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was our good and bad Twins movie review. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's pretty much all we've got for you today. God bless you, everybody.
See you later, everyone.